Now, number two, in consequence of domestic abuse in marriage, is this: depression and suicide in verbally abused marriage. Depression and suicide. I gave you a case in the introduction of this program where we talked about the woman that filed for divorce because the man was abusing her. That was certified, and the judge grant that abuse. He grant that judgment. He grant the marriage to be dissolved after 18 to 20 years because the woman said she was verbally abused. Verbal abuse in marriage is often dismissed because it leaves no bruise. It's dangerous. It leaves no bruise on the skin. Yet, its most dangerous impact is internal. The most dangerous impact of verbal abuse is internal. It attacks the mind, the identity, and the will to live. Over time, repeated harmful words can push a spouse into deep emotional darkness, culminating in depression and in several cases, suicidal ideation will show up. We have seen people taking their lives, and people don't know what's going on. Verbal abuse is dangerous. Depression, part of the things you see from an abusive marriage. People go into depression. They think of suicidal to begin to torment them because every now and then their memory of their marriage is chaotic. The entire home is chaotic. I know a lady many years ago who lost a mother. She grew up seeing the father beat the mother every now and then. Sometimes I can't even understand. How do you get married to somebody you profess to love? You bring them into your house and you treat them so badly. It is demonic. But listen, friends. Number two consequence of abuse in marriage is depression and suicide thoughts. Suicidal depression. People become confused about themselves. They lose touch with themselves. They are confused about identity. The regret is heavy. From depression, they move into suicide. There's an attempt to kill yourself because it has moved into suicide. Many years ago, when I was still in school, a woman had filed for divorce. She was in drugs, and the husband did not know that the wife was in depression. In depression. He did not know. I can't imagine a spouse living in one house and keeping malice for months, for days, for weeks. You will be sick to be that kind of a spouse. That's what happened. By the time she drew into herself, she went back to bad habits and began to take drugs in the house, and the man did not know. When she filed for divorce, her cry to her husband, her cry to her children was that she was totally depressed because the husband had withdrawn from her. And she ended up taking drugs, some pill to sleep, some pill to just keep taking drugs. And that day, she took overdose so that she could pass out. She could just kill herself. Suicidal thought kicks in. Abuse in marriage could result to depression and suicide. Today, several people are off. Several people are passed on. Several marriages has collapsed because of the abuse that have moved people into depression and then suicide. And when a case comes like this to front of a judge, he will quickly dismiss and dissolve the marriage because they know that abuse does not leave bruises in the skin, but it gets into the soul for destruction. Hallelujah. The invisible accumulation of pains. Unlike a single traumatic event, verbal abuse works like a steady drip of poison. That's how it kills people. It's a drop of poison. Verbal abuse is dangerous. There are people whose mouth have no limitation how they talk to their spouse. They have no restriction. Because after the insult, after everything, they come back and say, I'm sorry, and the marriage continues. Only the matured people enjoy their marriage. And God's idea is for us to grow into maturity and have a happy home. How can you talk to your spouse with no boundaries? How can you talk to your husband with no boundaries? Talk to your wife with no boundaries. Verbal abuse is very common in many homes. People call their spouse all manner of names. It is dangerous, friends. This is part of the things you get from an abusive home: depression and suicide. Depression and suicide. It is dangerous stuff. Dangerous stuff. By the time you keep telling somebody you are this, you are this, you are this, it becomes a stronghold. And that's where the decision will come, and then you know it, people lose their things. Lose of interest in life, the lack of energy, difficult concentrating. They have this, they are signs of depression. Not lazy, but emotional burn. People are burn out. And sometimes surprise. These are people who are married for more than 10 years. I heard somebody say something one time. He said, out of 15 years of getting married, I was only happy after the time the marriage started. I was happy, but afterwards, depression is kicking in. Depression is kicking in. Number two major point in this book on the consequence of abuse in marriage is this, friends: depression and suicidal thoughts. When abuse has become so much on somebody, he begins to believe whatever you are saying, that's the real thing. The man is disconnected, the woman is disconnected, and people become useless to themselves. And they go into depression, from depression to suicide. And before you know it, the man you saw outside that was fully dressed, looking as if everything is fine, the woman you saw that walked past you, looking as if it's okay, the thought in his head or her head that passed you by is to go and kill themselves, because verbal abuse have destroyed them from the inside. Listen, friends, we must do our best to avoid at all costs whatever will destroy our homes. The consequence of verbal abuse in marriage: depression and suicidal thoughts. These thoughts will destroy the man. These thoughts will destroy the woman. The depression will ruin them. Let us be careful how we use words in our homes. Let's be careful. Watch the words we tell our spouse, because I'll be sowing a seed of depression that will destroy the marriage in the future. I pray for you that the Lord will help you. The Lord will help us to avoid these consequences, so we can raise godly children, so we can have a healthy home and make the home a safe place for all of us. But two major consequences: depression and suicidal thoughts. I'd like you to watch the series as we go down, share the video, like, and make comments. God bless you.